On a gray November morning in 2022, Patty Foreman was walking to work. Inside a busy mall, she was gunned down by her ex-fiancé, Sean Young, a Canada Border Services officer, who then killed himself. Now, a CBC News investigation has revealed the border guard used his own service weapon, one like this Beretta semi-automatic handgun, as the murder weapon, a firearm Border Services should have still had under lock and key. This crime rocked Prince Rupert. Foreman was a dedicated mother, local musician, and public servant, well known and loved by many. The shooting was terrifying. Gunfire inside a public building with a daycare, school, and government offices. People hid from the shooter. City Hall went into lockdown. Border Services investigated and, almost a year after the deaths, completed this 52-page internal report, which CBC has since reviewed. It shows the killer was able to take the murder weapon from a restricted Border Services lockup in the middle of the night, even though he was off duty. The gun lockup was supposed to be secure, but the report reveals security cameras hadn't worked for months. And Young had the gun for 6 hours before he killed Foreman, then himself. Jewel Jerstad was Foreman's best friend. She said Foreman confided in her, worried about her safety after ending the relationship with Young.
There's no way he should have had access to his weapon. It was totally calculated. She was going to work. He knew what time she left. He knew what time she would be there. You know, he was dressed all in black. He hid in the corner. You know, he unloaded his weapon on her.
Julie Ferlano worked with Foreman at the Ministry of Children and Families.
The tears have dried up, but the memories are still alive and well. Some people still have a hard time using, entering the building just the sense of safety has been shook.
Border Services tells CBC that since Foreman's death, it's tightened off-duty officers' access to weapons and trained supervisors to better recognize mental health warning signs. But the agency says it won't release more information about Young, even now after his death, because of the Privacy Act. But Ron MacDonald says the public deserves answers. He's the retired head of British Columbia's police watchdog, the Independent Investigations Office of BC.
You have an individual who is in the employ of the state, who committed a murder-suicide, who used a publicly owned firearm to do it, and committed that act in public. All of that, I would suggest, greatly minimizes his privacy rights, but also, and more importantly, greatly increases the public interest to know what was going on, and particularly where an enforcement agency may or may not have culpability for what happened.
3 years after Foreman was killed, her friends and family in Prince Rupert are still grieving, still wondering if her death could have been prevented. Betsy Trumpener, CBC News, Prince George.